Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to talk about the Pichu buffs, and those are very significant, I'll tell you that much. Apparently Sakurai loves me specifically and therefore he buffed my mains, which is so funny still to me. This patch is insane for me, it's actually nuts. Anyway, enough of me rambling, let me actually get on to the buffs. Now, I thought of going over the new percentages would be kind of boring, so I'm going to compare all the percentages across patches instead to see what the differences are. Pewter does 1.2% to Pichu, and before this, before this patch, Pewter did 1.5%. 1.5% each attack you did. At launch, Pewter only did 1% to you. So I think that's interesting. They're going to try to hit a middle ground with these buffs, and you'll see it as I move along here. But I think that's just interesting how they don't want to revert back entirely to the old percents. But yeah, I think they're trying to find a middle ground and see what works and what doesn't. So that's probably going to be the pattern here. Now for Forward Smash. Forward Smash now does 1.8%. Before this patch, it did 2.4, which is ludicrous. But at launch, F Smash only did 1.5. Again, there is this middle ground between 1.5 and 2.4 they're trying to hit. It's just in the middle. So I'm not sure what this means entirely. But I think that's neat. So that is nice. Forward Smash definitely isn't one of the moves you spam, obviously, but for moves like Forward Air, which you'll use quite a lot in combos and neutral and all that, it's definitely a bigger hit. Now, a Forward Throw, it used to do 0.9, I believe, in the previous patch, and now it's down to 0.6 in this patch. At launch, it only did 0.5, so you know what? We're really close to the start on this one, actually. Very close. I'm actually surprised I never really paid attention to Forward Throw, but it almost did 1% per throw, which is quite a lot. So now we're down to almost half of that, and that is nice. Forward Throw is one of the... Not only that, but Forward Throw is Pichu's strongest throw in terms of kill power. You'll definitely use it at the ledge to kill earlier. So that's just great. Not only, it also just, gets opponent off stage for free, because it's strong. But yeah, I like that quite a lot. Not the one I saw coming, but I definitely like it. Now, side B. Skull Bash. Skull Bash does 1.8% to you now. Before this patch, it did 2.1, which is a lot. That is a lot. And at launch, it did 1.5. So again, this is the biggest example we have for a middle ground, because 1.8 is right in the middle of 1.5 and 2.1. So yeah, that is definitely a sort of middle ground thing. Anyway, you use side B for recovering a lot. So I appreciate that a lot, a lot, because you often use side B in conjunction with up B, and when you use side B and up B together, you suddenly tack on 4% on yourself, and that's a lot. So I definitely appreciate the decrease in percent here. I'll get back to it when we move on to the next move, which is up B. Now up B, I believe, did 2% to yourself at launch in total. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was 1% per dash or per blip. And as you can see, you now do 1.8, which is really low. So that's nice. And before this patch, you did a whole 2.7. A whole 2.7% just for trying to recover. And that's insane. That is honestly actually nuts. So I think across the board, they actually shaved off around I think they shaved off around 1.2% when you're recovering. So if I do this and then this, now I do 3.6%. And in the previous patch, I would have done a lot more, you know. So it's just, yeah, it's just a nice quality of life little thing, because as you know, Pichu is very prone to getting two-framed, worst of all. And that requires you to use side B and up B to recover multiple times. And they just decreased a lot of percent when it comes to recovering. So honestly, that's huge. That is just huge, especially up B. That is a ginormous. Wonderful, you know. That is great. So yeah, they basically shaved off 1.2%. If you're recovering with both side B and up B together, then you do 1.2% length to yourself in total. And that's like great. So I'm happy with that. Now, the last thing that they did to Pichu that I need to talk about, because holy shit, it's big. It's so big. So, let us display invincibility here. Yeah. So they added not invincibility, but intangibility to his ears. Which means that he can now trade with people, or he can just break out of combos without getting hit himself. And that is like so big. You have like no idea how huge this is. Because up until this point, like the hitbox of neutral air only covered Pichu's body, but not his ears. So it was really easy for him to get, you know, to basically lose trades and all that. But now that's gonna change. That's gonna change big time. This one is like, I didn't think much of it at first, but then I thought about it and saw what other people said, and like, yeah, this is big. This is honestly so big. So neutral air, which is already like one of Pichu's best moves, just got even better. And that's nuts. That is just crazy. It's so good. Like, yeah, this patch was just so good for Pichu. Like, yeah, it's absolutely just nuts how good this is. And I couldn't be happier. Like, I'm legit just thinking about playing Pichu again, like, actively. You know? It's that good. Like, if they could reduce the damage he does to himself across the board like this, I would be so in on playing him, you know? Even more. But yeah, overall, freaking terrific patch. Like, you guys don't understand just how good this patch is to me specifically. Like, they released a DLC character that I absolutely adore to play, and I just like them a lot as characters. And then they buffed Byleth, and then they buffed Pichu, and then, yeah, it's just the greatest patch ever for me. So, I am very happy camper right now. I am so happy. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop rambling. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.